Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to What You Up To Now, day 1080. I know. Yapping for over 1,000 days. Kind of ridiculous when you think about it, but it's my way of documenting my journey. What I'm doing is I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business, I call them real businesses, to the online world of business, which is also real business. It's just a lot less tangible to me coming from the physical world to the digital world. And so I like to joke that it's real business and that there's a lot more to it offline than there is online. But there's a lot to it online as well, as I've learned over the last couple of years. So obviously, over 1,080 days, because I didn't start documenting my journey via a video log or video blog or vlog or whatever we call it these days. Right away, I was probably, I'd have to go back and count the days, but I hopped online, really online, in 2017 and started learning about how do you do things online. And I started with ClickFunnels. Now, I dabbled and seen things online, of course, for years and years before that, but I never really had the time and the energy or the focus and attention that I could just say, hey, I'm going to hop on here, I'm going to see what this is all about. But in 2017, I made that shift. By 2020, I was frankly very glad that I had, because of all the craziness last year. So what am I doing now? Right now, I focus on challenges. I share and I do and I lead and I work with people on all different types of challenges. My favorite, of course, have something to do with business, because that's where my last 47 years have been spent. 47 of 60, going to be 61 soon, working on different types of businesses, being involved in different industries, different businesses, different aspects of how we add value to the world. I think business is how do we add value to the world. So I like to talk and work about that, but that also ties into every other area and aspect of our life, right? If we're not physically fit, if we're not mentally and emotionally fit and stable and able to handle and manage ourselves, then if we're having health challenges in any area or aspect of our life, it'll show up in how we show up in the world, what we want to do, how we want to be perceived, what value we want to add to the world, whether it's working for someone else or working for ourselves or working in connection with other people. And guess what? None of us gets through life alone, so we pretty much have to interact with and have relationships with other people. So in 2020, I started doing a Get Up and Go challenge. I'd been doing all kinds of different challenges, but 2020 was the year where I did the Get Up and Go challenge. And I did it as a 30-day challenge. I did it as a 10-day challenge, which didn't seem like enough given all that was going on in 2020. It was a crazy year by anyone's standards, mine included. And I started doing a 30, then a 40, then 3 more 30-day challenges. So a total of 5 30-plus day Get Up and Go challenges. And what's a Get Up and Go challenge? It just teaches us how to install on a subconscious level a process or a framework called SOAP that guarantees that we get better results after any change or challenge that we face than before we face that change or challenge. It means we always do the best thing for us. And it's a super simple framework. And I've been using the process for literally decades, but I never called it anything or had a name for it. I just automatically did it because I learned it a long, long time ago when I was having challenges and struggling. And I figured out what worked for me, and then I just kept doing that over and over and over again and perfecting it through the literally decades. And in 2020, it just felt like the right thing to call that was SOAP. And of course, SOAP stands for, it's an acronym. It stands for your story or your situation, options, action, and progress. And I explain in the challenge, and we break it down for all the areas and aspects of your life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. Each of those areas, and we go deep on at least 3 of them every time we go through the 30-day challenge, but we cover all 4 areas for each of the 7 areas throughout the challenge, so that you can see examples. And I use myself as a guinea pig, like I do in a science experiment with everything else in my life. And I actually share stories, and I go through the challenge right along with you and make sure that, I'm sharing, okay, well, this is really hard for me because of these beliefs or this thought or this, that. And I started in the last couple sharing a tool a day. So you get 30 different tools that you can use that I've used throughout my life, that a lot of which I forgot about until 2020. And I realized hey, I have got all these little tools and strategies and tips and hacks and things that I've learned, lessons learned it from my all my years. Why am I not going back and pulling the things that have worked for me in the past and using them to help me in this situation right now? So I made a concerted effort to pull that all together. I think that I don't know if I'm going to wait till February 1st to start the next Get Up and Go challenge. I think I need and want to do another one like sooner rather than later. And I thought I started taking a month in between after I did June and July, and then I took August, and all I did was I shared uh, some life lessons or lessons that I big lessons that I'd learned every day for the month of September. Then October we did another Get Up and Go challenge for 30 days, 31 days, and then November we took off and we did No Nonsense November, where every day I shared a tool and some life lessons and tips on how you could use that tool in your life. And then because in October I'd started sharing a tool a day, November I did No Nonsense November, and we shared a tool and a piece of wisdom every day. Not my wisdom that I've learned from all the great people and teachers that have gone before, right? We don't have to figure everything out ourselves if we model other people. It's a lot quicker way to learn than trying to bang our head against the wall or the door to make things happen when there's almost always an easier way, right? I actually believe that there's a faster, easier, more effective, more efficient way of doing absolutely everything and anything on the planet. We just haven't found it yet. I guess that's one of my core beliefs. There's always a better way. There's always an easier way. There's always a faster way. There's always a smarter way. There's always ways to get what we want done, easier. So December, then we did the fifth 30 plus day Get Up and Go challenge, again with a tool a day, an action item a day. If we don't do something every day, it can be the tiniest of things, but it's one thing every day to move us toward what we want. That's how we make progress. That's how we gain momentum. That's how we move toward what we want on autopilot, automatically, without having to struggle with it. Some days will we do more than others? Absolutely. Some days will we barely do the minimum to get by to move us toward our goal? Absolutely. And that's okay, because we're always making progress and we're always moving forward. So today, what am I working on? This just finished the 365-day do one fun thing every day, and moved into and started on the first of the year, which was much better than not starting on the first of the year like I did last year. I started on the 8th and ended on the 8th, so I doubled up until the 8th. But now, of course, it's the 12th, so we're out of the doubling up on the short, sweet, warm up my voice daily challenge. And this year, I'm using a little journal book, do one thing every day that centers you. And probably by like the end of January, I won't say fun instead of centers. Kind of like at the end of the year when you write last year's numerical year date instead of the new one. It's the same thing. It's just getting into the habit of, okay, it's 2021. Okay, it's do one thing every day that centers you, not do one fun thing every day. So today's was all about gratitude and how we express gratitude, from John F. Kennedy, of course. Love John Kennedy. And he speaks about it's important to express gratitude, but not just in words. It's in the actions that follow up those words and that support those words, because we want to always be consistent. And then, of course, our idiom for today for Supersize Your Business was people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Now, I wanted to find a little glass ornament. I used to put glass ornaments on my Christmas tree, and I'd have little glass castles and little glass houses. Then I got cats. I inherited a cat from my daughter and a cat from my son. And cats and Christmas trees, I don't know if you have cats, but cats and Christmas trees, at least in my house, didn't quite match with the beautiful glass ornaments. So I packed them all away, and they're actually in storage, but I wanted to have one to show for people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. But I don't have one because I had cats. When you have cats and little children, your Christmas decorations tend to move toward the unbreakable. But people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. It reminds me that I shouldn't judge other people, especially for things that I'm doing myself or thinking myself. If I'm not thinking for myself and I'm just going with the crowd, I shouldn't judge other people for not thinking for themselves and going with the crowd. If I am bad at something, say grammar or spelling or seeing, and therefore I make typos and mistakes, I shouldn't judge other people for typos and mistakes or using the wrong word. Why? Because I do that now too. It used to drive me crazy, but now I've had to learn to cut myself some slack because I literally can't see very well. So if I'm responding to texts or something, chances are, and I'll admit, I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten a lot better. I used to send my kids text messages that not a single letter in any word would be correct or right. And I'm learning to use voice technology so that I don't make so many mistakes. Unfortunately, technology isn't at the point where it necessarily clearly understands my voice. And so I still send goofy, crazy messages sometimes. And people that know me, they don't expect it, but they're not surprised if they get a goofy message from me. And they'll just send back a message, what the heck are you saying? Or they'll pick up the phone and call me and say, what the heck was that about? Which I should learn to leave a lot more voice messages than text messages. But guess what? People respond almost immediately to text messages, and they don't stop and listen to their voice messages, and they're not always able to pick up the phone. So, we got to do what we can do with what we've got right now. So I love the people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And it's a reminder for me and each of us and all of us to sometimes look in the mirror and say, am I actually doing the thing that I'm accusing someone else of doing? And if I am, holy crap, I better check myself and stop doing that, because I want to treat people the way that I expect to be treated. And I want them to treat me the way they expect to be treated. That's how we build relationships and we communicate. We understand one another. If you treat me rudely, yikes, I might take a deep breath and let it go once. But if you keep doing it, I'm probably going to snooze you for 30 days. And it isn't just how you treat me. I mean, you might treat me well, but if I see you treating other people in ways that are against my core values and unacceptable, I'm still going to snooze you or get rid of you, because I just don't want that kind of element in my life. And that's up to each one of us to draw the line in the sand and decide what is right for us and what isn't right for us. If anybody's supporting violence, illegal, abusive, negative, unethical, fraudulent behavior, unfriended, out of my life and cut off. I mean, without hardly any notice. And I learned this a long time ago. If someone is gossiping about you, I mean, I learned this in corporate America, probably in my summer internships when I was going to school, probably in high school. I mean, we all learned this. If somebody is gossiping and talking about you, and they're supposedly your friend, but they're talking about another friend to you behind your back, guess what they're doing when you're not there? Newsflash, they're talking about you and trashing you and judging you and criticizing your clothes or your hair or your makeup or your eyeliner or your shoes or your car or your home or your family or your house or your performance, whatever, behind your back. The same is true with everything. It doesn't go away when we get out of grade school and high school. It actually just gets worse and intensifies. And nowadays with technology and social media, and it started with email, right? When people felt like, actually with letters and mail, when people felt like they were removed physically from the words that they shared or the behaviors that they portrayed or the feelings that they expressed, they felt like they had this buffer of safety. People on the internet feel like they can say anything that they want. They'll say heinous things they would never say to your face, but they'll say it on the internet, the World Wide Web, like that's better. And they're always showing us exactly who they are. So keep that in mind. If someone is rude and disrespectful and name calling and bullying online, they would never probably do that to your face because they would be scared of the possible ramifications, but they'll do it online all day long. Those are people that you probably don't want in your life, because if they do it to and about other people, they're going to do it about you. And that includes politicians. If you trash politicians or competition or other business owners or other people in a similar field or even a dissimilar field to you, if you're talking trash about them or saying things that are disrespectful or rude or criticizing them on posts and feeds, guess what? That doesn't tell us about them. That tells us about you. And that's something that we all need to remember. I know that it's easy to forget, especially when there's a lot going on in our world. And there's a lot going on in our world, more than has ever been going on in my lifetime. And I'm 60. So for people that haven't experienced a lot of this or any change, it is almost overwhelming. And we need to find ways to check ourselves. And for me, it's challenges. So buckle up. I will be definitely doing a new challenge very, very soon. Maybe as soon as, what's today? Tuesday, maybe next Monday. Maybe I'll start it again next Monday. I'll have to look at the calendar and see what the date is and see what commitments I have. But it's the kind of thing that I will get up an hour early to do. And I'll pre-record it and I'll have it available to help myself move in a positive direction and keep moving forward and making progress, and to help other people as well. All right, that's all I got today. Have an amazing day. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below or DM me. If you don't agree with anything I said, that's awesome. Just don't watch my videos anymore. You can let me know in a direct message, but you don't have to post it under the video, right? That's called social etiquette, emotional intelligence, something that we're going to learn more about, I think, moving forward, hopefully in the coming year for everyone. All right, have a great day. Catch you tomorrow.